Hey everybody, welcome back. We are doing some acrylic pouring and we found one of these cake display, cake platter slash punch bowl pieces at the local thrift shop. So I thought this will be a nice one to pour on. So I cleaned it up real good. It had some grime on it, so cleaned it up real good. And there is still some water on the inside, but we're not pouring on the inside because this can turn into a punch bowl. I don't want any paint on the inside, so that's why. But outside is fine. In fact, I plan on doing some peekaboos because you kind of want to be able to see a little bit inside. Take a peek at the treats, right? So I plan on having peekaboos on the outside, and then on the tray part, I'm going to do both the inside of the tray. Right now, I'm planning on doing a Nautilus pour. And then on the outside, I have a plan, low-flying osprey. And on the outside bottom of it, I plan on doing the Nautilus pour also, but I have to do something a little special in order to not get paint on the inside. And I think we've got a plan for that. So that's the plan. I'm using my big split cup. Yeah, you guys can see it. I had to make up a bunch of fresh white paint. So we've got grayish blue, which is Amsterdam, titanium white, Amsterdam, the light gold from Amsterdam, oh gosh, I said the name of it the other day, pearl sage. There's more to it than that though, and I've already thrown the thingy away, but it's Arteza pearl gold, I think, or pearl sage, I believe is what it is, but there's a third word in there and I'm not sure what that is. And then Amsterdam pewter with white in between. And since I can't, you have to do short bursts because these split cups, you can't have direct heat on for a while. It'll warp it. But I can't put my strainer up here in order to do the Nautilus pour. So I'm just going to do my wood grain pour, pouring on the knob first, and then we'll pour around the top. And I think that will look best rather than trying to figure out a way to try to do a Nautilus pour from the top. Because there's no way for me to get my strainer to sit on top of that and for it to turn out right. I do have an upside down strainer, but I was afraid that the paint would go over the sides and ruin anyhow. So that's the plan. So no more talking, right? Here we go. Well, we're not going to have any peekaboos. Normally I don't do that when I'm planning on peekaboos, but since the majority of it was already down, might as well. Something I wasn't planning on is this really cool cell formation that's going on. I hope that stays. Let's bring you in for a closer look. So you can kind of see there, especially if I go off center, the really neat cells that formed that I was not counting on. I abandoned my plan of the wood grain pattern because I liked what I was seeing as it was pouring. And I still think I can do my other plans and be okay. That doesn't make sense, but I know what I mean. All right, let me get this moved over. I'm not sure how I feel about it. We're going to have to let it dry and see how it dries. I may do another layer over top and thicken up the paints a little bit to try to get that more, well, and actually now that I think about it, the paints are not as thick as they should be. So, I probably need to let them thicken up a little. It's not bad though, so we'll wait and see what it looks like when it dries, but we're probably going to redo this one. All right, be back soon. Hey everybody. So this is actually touch dry already. It's only been a day, but I just love how that turned out, even though it wasn't what I planned. However, I did go ahead and clean the platter off. So we're going to do thicker paints, and it's not exactly the same color. The Pearl Sage Green is what I've got mixed up right now. I also have Pearl Pistachio Green. They're just one number off, very close in color. So I'm going to use this one for the Nautilus pour. Couldn't remember what it was called. But I'm going to use up the paints I currently have in the split cup, and so that's why we're doing the bottom of the platter instead. So I've got a little setup. I've got this protecting the inside. Hopefully not too much paint gets down inside the stand part here. And I'm going to put my strainer on top, and it should be a mix of the Nautilus pour and what I got on my lid. So hopefully the outcome will go well with the lid part, and then we'll do the Nautilus pour after this part dries. All right, here we go. And sorry about the dehumidifier. I forgot it was on, but I'm not going to go turn it off now. Totally missed this side. And this is why the Nautilus pour works so well, because we're turning as we're pouring. I was like, I'm not seeing any nautilus. We've got a little bit of one, but you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to take the strainer off and pour, and hopefully that'll eliminate that part of things. Okay. Let's see if we can't make this prettier. I'm not getting a good spin. I'm going to spin it again, but I'm waiting for it to finish falling a bit so I can pull this out. Ooh, I think my cup on top is starting to fall. I'm not going to touch it. We'll leave it alone. I'll come back in a couple of hours and probably remove the cup. All right. See you on the next step. We are back. Let's do this next part. Well, I definitely think it's time for me to get a new camera because you guys totally missed it all except for the white dot in the middle. But this is the look where it's not what I was planning on, which you almost never get what you're planning on with acrylic pouring, but it still looks pretty, and it actually looks like pottery. You don't see really any gold. Let me turn the light on. You don't really see any gold, mainly or barely the green. We got a little bit of green right there. It's mainly the pewter, the white, and the bluish gray. And you can kind of see it's got that pottery look, which I like. There's an up close in the middle. And I was explaining to nobody. I did tape off the bottom part so it didn't ruin the bottom, but I did make sure that it would go over the edge to cover the edge. So, provided it doesn't change too much, unless it brings out the gold and the green, I wouldn't mind that. but provided it doesn't change too much, we'll go ahead and resin this. And the resin that is FDA approved that I'm using, at least this particular kind, it has a 30-day cure. So I wasn't quite planning on that. I was hoping to have this done for the Christmas show, but that's not going to happen. So once this is done curing, here's a final picture. Thank you all for joining me on this one. I'll see you on the next. Bye.